Okay, now that I have some multicolor image transfers, hand-drawn, I'm going to see what they look like on the clay. I'm also going to experiment with adding in some of these screen printed backgrounds. So I've just painted a layer of slip on the back of my image transfer, and you can see there's my image transfer with its colors. And let's see how this looks. I am going to place that down. I use a very similar process for decorating cakes. Okay. Now this one, I want it to be the exact shape and of my design so that I can put a background image. And this is where it really helps to actually cut out your design before you put the layer of slip on, but I didn't. So here we are. I'm going to put this design down, and then while it's transferring, I'm going to print another pattern that's larger on top of it. So I need it to be cut out approximately in the shape of the design. So I'm getting this little scallopy edge cut out. And generally speaking, this is one of those processes where I think of a slightly better way to do the steps as I'm actually doing them. But that's okay because that's art. All right, so we're going to put this one right here. So both of these were hand-drawn with a fine liner and colored in with some underglazes and then coated with a slip that I made from mixed up clay, B-mix, that I slaked down and stirred up to a fine slip, sieved it a little bit, and then added some white mason stains. Now when I'm transferring this, sometimes I will get a sponge and wring it out and kind of use that to press the image into the surface. And sometimes you can also see the image kind of separating a little bit, like you can see that it's getting a little bit lighter. That means it's more attached to the clay than the paper. When you can see it sort of less attached to that paper. Okay, now I'm gonna try. We'll see how successful I was at printing these image transfers the other day. I'm going to put this as a background on top of my flour with coffee mug. So I'm spraying it down really good, and I want it to get shiny wet. So you can see it's kind of shiny wet. I'm going to give it a minute just to kind of dry a little bit because I want it to be less shiny, more suede. And when it's dried for a minute, I went a little fast, but that's okay. I'm going to place it down here. And I'm going to use my very wrung out sponge to press it into the surface. So with students, what I will do is I will often have them each design a very small design with a screen. And then sometimes I'll have them use the fine liners and draw some details. And I will encourage them to make some collages by combining the different designs. And sometimes I even have them, like each person has a different design, so I have them share. So maybe at this table there's 4 different designs and they see how they can each use the designs at their table creatively. Okay, so ideally I would let this dry for just a little bit. And then once it's set up, we'll take it off. So let's do that and we'll be right back.